So y'all want to know how I got married and divorced by 19. Lovely. Hi guys, I'm back. I'm sure all of you missed me. I'm just kidding, but I'm not. I don't think y'all missed me, but I hope you did, because I'm back. Life has happened. Like, I started this channel in the midst of like all the COVID stuff, and I was like, okay, well, like, there's nothing else to do, so let me just start a YouTube channel. And while that was fun and all, then I had to go back to work and then school, and like, you know, life happens. But I'm definitely gonna be doing a video like with like a life update, I guess, after this, or like later, I don't know, sometime soon. But yeah, I just want you to know I am back. I do plan to start making YouTube videos again because it's definitely something that I enjoy. And today I'm actually talking about something a little bit different. If you read the title, then obviously I know why you're here. You know why you're here. You know what this is about. How I got married and divorced all by 19. This video is like something that like I have not talked about. Like, if you're not my friend, like if you're not my best friend, or if like my family member, then like you don't know. Like, I feel like everyone knows about it, but like no one knows about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not something I've talked about. I mean, I guess I don't want to say I was ashamed about it, but it's definitely something that I guess you could say I was a little bit like embarrassed by, and you know, whatever. But it's been what, like 5 years, 4 years, I don't know. It's been some time. It's been like 4 or 5 years, and it's time now, and I'm ready. And I never announced it, so like everyone knew that I got married because I had posted photos of my then husband. Like, you know, it was not a secret, but no one really knows like when we divorced or separated. Like, I never posted like an announcement or a tweet or post or picture, like nothing. Like, it just I kind of just went on with my life as if like nothing had ever happened. And I think that confused a lot of people, because they were like, are you, no, I don't know. But anyway, I'm talking about it today, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm very nervous, and I definitely thought about like not even sharing this video, and I recorded it a few different times, but here I am. So grab some popcorn because we're probably gonna be here a while, and I really don't have a structure for this of any which way that I'd like to like organize it. I'm just gonna be talking the way I would tell this story to anyone else. I'd like to say, and just for a disclaimer, I'd like to say before anything that this video is not intended like to be, you know, bad-mouthing my ex or putting anyone down or anything like that. It's just, he was a great guy, and I'm sure he still is. I mean, I don't know, I haven't talked to him, but he was a great guy, and I know, like, you know, it didn't work out between us, but we're on good terms. Like, he's definitely the type of person that, you know, you can call up and he's willing to give you a place to stay and food to eat and a welcoming, warm welcome. Like, he is just that type of person. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, this is a video that I have recorded several times, and I almost didn't want to post this, but then I was like, let me just, you know, it's been a few years, so let me just kind of share my story. So I'm definitely nervous. I don't know why, but I'm nervous, but I think it'll be a good thing to just kind of put it out there. So yeah, and let's get started. I don't even know where to start, but let's get started. So yeah, so I was 18, and it was the summer before I was going off to college, and there was this girl, actually, hold on, no, like, I think I need to start before that. What made this so crazy, so I was dating a guy for like 3 years or so on and off, and like all throughout high school, and we were, you know, I would say pretty serious. Like, we had plans, like, you know, to move in together, and just like, I don't know, you think like you're gonna marry like the person you're with in high school, so we were gonna go to the same college, and you know, whatever. So anyway, we ended up breaking up the summer before college. So to set the scene, this is like July, and I was hanging out with this girl. We were pretty close friends at the time, and I had needed a job. So up until then, like, I didn't have like bills, I didn't have like a car payment, like, you know, nothing. All the money that I was making was just to like support me and like spend and on whatever, you know. So I needed a job, and this girl knew I was looking for a job, and I really don't remember how it happened, but we were at the mall, and this particular day I was like, you know, dressed up, like I looked good, like I didn't look like bummy. I looked dependable, I guess you could say. But yeah, so we were walking, and she actually had worked at this place before I did. Like, she didn't work there anymore. But we walked by it, and she had said hi to her old boss at the time, who would then become my boss. So anyway, they were just chatting, and I don't remember if I asked her or if she just asked, but she was like, hey, like, are y'all hiring? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I need a job. So essentially, like, fast forward, he was like, can you start Monday? And I was like, sure. So I'm working at this job, and everything's going good. And yeah, it was just you know, a little summer job. So I'm working, everything's good, and then one day I go to work, and it's this girl, and she's like, oh yeah, like, he's not here, like, he just disappeared. I don't know where the heck he went, but he just disappeared. So it was kind of strange. So we didn't have a boss, basically. It was like me and this other girl that were working. And she was like, okay, well, I mean, it was a few of us. It wasn't just me and her. Like, it was a few of us that had like been employed by the place, but it was just her and I that day. So she kind of took on the role because she'd been there the longest, and like, she just was like the oldest. Because I mean, we're all, you know, like 16 to 18-year-olds that were literally working at the mall. Like, it wasn't, we're not managers material, like manager material. So she was like the oldest. She was like, I think in her 30s. Not important. Anyway, she took on the role, and she was our manager for like 2 weeks or so, like a week. She would like make our schedules and all that. So I'm just thinking like, okay, whatever, I guess. Like, I didn't ask questions. She was the boss as far as I knew. And then anyway, I come into work one day, and it makes me laugh. Okay, so this guy comes out from like the back, and he's like, hi, like, I'm the owner, like, introducing himself to me, and just kind of tells me that he's there because obviously our old boss like disappeared, and we needed someone to like run the store. So at this point, I'm just like, and I don't want to say his name on camera, but like, we're just gonna say his name's Bob. So he's like, you know, hi, I'm Bob, like introducing himself, whatever. And I'm just like, well, hello, Bob. How are you, Bob? Yeah, he was cute. At least I thought so. But I was like a little like a smitten kitten, I guess. You know, he had brunette hair. He was a brunette. He had brown hair, blue eyes, and had an accent. He was foreign, which if you know me, then you know that's like my kryptonite. But yeah, so I was definitely taken aback, and it's so funny because, I mean, at this point, I'm only 18, and I come home and I tell my mom like, oh, like, I found the guy I'm gonna marry. And she was pissed. Like, she was super upset because she's like, what the hell, like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, you don't even know this guy? Like, you're too young? Like, what are you talking about? So, I don't know. I just felt it. And like, yeah, I don't want to say it was like love at first sight, because that sounds like, I don't know, cheesy. But like, I don't know, I just knew. And I don't know if like I spoke it into existence or what, but yeah, so he was, I was definitely attracted to him. So at this point, I'm 18, he was 27. So he was older than me. And like I said, we're gonna call him Bob. So if you know me, like, I'm not a flirty person. Like, I'm not the type of girl that's like, hey, handsome, like, got any plans? Like, it's not me. Like, I'm like, someone will flirt with me and I'm like, but yeah. So anyway, I don't know, I was just definitely taken aback, and I was attracted to him, and I thought he was very handsome. So I complimented his eyes, and I was like, you have gorgeous eyes. And then he said, thank you, you do too. And I'm like, okay, they're brown, but okay. And yeah, so I really don't remember the first day too much. I mean, it wasn't like, wasn't trying to like hook up with the manager, like, or the boss or anything like that. I just thought he was handsome. I didn't really know anything about him. So anyway, a few days go by, and I just thought it was funny. And this is like, so I don't know how they do it in his country, but he was trying to like, I guess, court me. So one day we're just working there. It was me and this other girl who, you know, we're just hanging out. and he comes in with like a bucket of fried chicken from Walmart. Like, I don't know, I guess they sell like buckets. And I don't know, I like that story, it's funny to me. And he brought me the bucket and he was like, oh, like I brought you fried chicken. Like, there was no lid on it or anything, it was just a bucket of fried chicken. So I'm like, I didn't eat any of it. I just thought it was really strange. Like, we're at work at the mall, like we're not just like I don't know, it was weird. It was sweet, but it was weird. And then he brought like a bag of like all these chocolates, like M&M's, Reese's, Hershey's, like anything you could think of. And he was like, I don't know what you like, but I brought it all. And I'm like, okay. I think I had a Three Musketeers, I don't remember. But yeah, I don't know, it just kind of went on like that. And anyway, one day this was around the time that like the Minions were out, like the movie. I think it was like the last one, I don't remember. It was like Despicable Me. And I remember he asked me, and it was kind of hard to understand his accent at first because, like, I'm not gonna lie, like I probably did teach him a lot more of like the English because he had like a thick accent when I met him. So yeah, he was like, oh, do you like Minions? And I was like, what? And he was like, do you like Minions? And I was like, yeah, they're cool. Like, okay. And then he asked me to the movies because that's when the movie was out. And so that was our first date. And he was like a total gentleman. I remember, like, he didn't try to kiss me, hold my hand, none of that. We just watched the movie. And then yeah, it was really funny because even though I was 18, my mom had the rule, like, until I go off to college, like I have to abide by her rules and like her like curfew. So at this point, like I had to be home by like 9:30. Yeah, especially since I'm over here telling her like I'm gonna marry this man. Like, she did not want me out with this guy. But yeah, we went to the movies. I was home by 9:30. It was pretty like early on in the day that we had gone. And then yeah, so one thing kind of like led to another. So I was set to leave to my first year of college in August, like late August, of course, because, you know, like the fall. And he actually had come down from San Antonio, and it just so happened that the college I was attending was in San Antonio. So we had gotten pretty close, and, you know, we had been spending like a lot of time together or whatever. And I'd already had my dorm like all set up. Like, I mean, literally I was leaving in less than a month. Like, everything was ready. So I had my roommates, like I had all my dorm decor, like everything ready. So I had my roommates, like I had all my dorm decor, like everything. And so anyway, whenever I ended up moving, like he basically just stayed for like that last month, like throughout August in like, you know, the place where I live. And then come August, I was like, well, you know, I'm leaving to San Antonio, like what's gonna happen? And he was like, oh, well, like, you know what, like, because he owned it, so he was like, well, whatever. So he just got someone else to like work it, and then he ended up just moving back to San Antonio. And even though I had a dorm, I don't know, it just all happened really fast. So like, I got married in 3 months. Like, maybe I should have started out the video with that, but I got married in 3 months. But we'll get to that later. But yeah, so I was in San Antonio, and even though I had a dorm, like I was spending the night like a lot at his place, and you know, then he would spend the night at my dorm and blah blah blah. So this is like, so when school starts already August, we're spending a lot of time going out, whatever. And then I think it was like late September, he was getting his lease was up, so he was getting a new apartment. And I don't know why, like honestly, like yes, I'm telling the story time, but like don't ask me, sorry, I'm holding my stuff, don't ask me like what was going through my head, because I don't know. Like, it was just very impulsive. But yeah, he was getting a new apartment in September, and somehow it just became like our apartment, even though I had like a whole dorm for the whole year. So I don't know, we moved in together. So I met him in July, moved in September, we had our own place. That was cool and everything. Was still going to school, and then so that was fine. And this is the first time I've ever lived with anyone, of course. But yeah, so then come October, we got engaged, and it was really funny because it wasn't like a super romantic, like everything super thought out. Like, honestly, we had gotten into a fight, which I guess I should mention, like our relationship had like a lot of turmoil. Like, I don't know if it was like the cultural differences or like what, but I don't know, we just used to fight a lot about like nothing big or nothing important. But yeah, we got into a fight, and then we made up, and then he was like, he presented me with the ring, which was super cute. Like, it was which was actually imported from Germany. It was actually a custom made ring, which I thought it was gorgeous. So So that was really cool. But yeah, he gave me the ring. And then, you know, proposed. I was just like, hey, like, you know, well, he didn't say hey, but he was like, you know, Giselle, blah, 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 I love you, will you marry me? And at that point, it made every bit of sense in my head to say, yes, I will. So we're engaged. And then, like, all of this happened really quickly. And I will say a lot of people, like a lot of people, thought that we were rushing because I was pregnant. And I would tell people, like, no, I'm not pregnant. But I think in the back of their heads, they were like, but I really wasn't. I never was pregnant. I don't know. It was, I couldn't tell you. It was just all very impulsive and it all made sense. And I was in love, or I thought I was, and you know, whatever. I was a stupid 18-year-old. So come October 30th, we were married. And it wasn't like a big wedding. We didn't have anything like that. Like I didn't even have like a gown, or like I had a pretty white dress. It had like pearls. I mean, it was cute. It was quaint. And we actually got married in a garden in San Antonio, so that was cool. But yeah, it was just like his family was in a different country, so it was like his aunt, his cousin, and then on my side it was like my dad, my mom, my little sister. Yeah, that's it. It was like just us. But now that I think about it, I'm like, why would I get married without my brother being there? Like, what? It just doesn't make, none of it makes sense. I don't know what was going through my head. So we got married in October, and yeah, everything went on as normal. Like I kept going to school. You know, he would travel for work. Like he would go to Florida, he would go to Arkansas. Nothing crazy. I did get to live in Arkansas for like a month, which was pretty cool. And then we did take a late honeymoon, like for New Year. We went to Colorado. We went to Crested Butte, which that was really pretty. I had never skied or snowboarded, and to this day I have still never skied or snowboarded because we ended up just staying in our cabin the whole time. And yeah, we took a lot of pictures, so that was fun. I'm from Texas, so I didn't have like a lot of memories with snow. The one time that we got snow, I was like 10 years old, and it wasn't even like, it melted like in the next day or two. So this was like hip deep snow, so it was really cool to experience that. Anyway, so yeah, everything went on. I mean, you know, we were married, whatever. We definitely had like differences, and I guess I would say that the reason we decided to separate our relationship was a very passionate one, I guess you could say. There was just a lot of, like, I don't know, like we would fight a lot, but then we'd make up a lot, and fight a lot and make up a lot, and I don't know, it just wasn't really the healthiest. But yeah, so yeah, it wasn't the healthiest. Sorry, I'm like, I don't know what to say. The biggest thing was, you know, how did your mom react, or like how did your parents react? Well, my mom was pissed when I told her that I was gonna get married to this guy like the first day I met him, because I don't know, like I'm saying, it's just weird. I just knew it was weird. I've never had that feeling again, but I mean, that's good. Like, I'm not trying to like get married all up in 3 months again, but I just knew. However, once we were actually engaged, it was weird. It was kind of just like a, hey, we're getting married Friday, like come up if you want to be there. Like, it wasn't really like an ask, which I don't know, it just, none of it really makes sense to me looking back. I'm like, I would do things so much differently. But she was very supportive. You know, she never was like, no, don't do it, like blah blah blah. Like, definitely, of course, like, you know, are you sure this is something you want to do, and blah blah blah. Which, yeah, at the time I was very sure. But no, she was super supportive. And then my dad, my parents are divorced, and I'm not so close to my dad. Like, we talk and we keep in with each other, we keep in touch with each other, but he wasn't like, he just kind of showed up for the wedding. It wasn't like don't do this, like, so it was nice. I had my dad, my stepmom, and my sister there, so it was pretty. I had a bouquet. My mom got me like a really beautiful bouquet with like white roses, which are my favorite, baby breaths, all that. So you know, I definitely didn't, yeah, it was impulsive, but I obviously went into this thinking it was gonna be forever. Like, no one gets married like thinking like, oh, this is gonna fail, and like, I'll have to start all over. So, I mean, it was hard to leave, and it was definitely a relationship that I kind of felt like I failed in a way, and I was very, I guess at that time, ashamed to let people know that I had been divorced, because it's like, here I was, this confident, you know, 18, 19-year-old that was like, oh, like, you're talking crap, like, you don't know me, I'm different, like, it's gonna be good, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, no, it failed. Like people said it would, but I definitely feel that I gave it my all. Like, at the time, like, I gave everything that I could, and it just didn't work out, so that's nobody's fault. Am I the same person today as I was then? No, of course not. Like, I'm 23 now. I've grown up, like, things have changed, and I definitely see things in a different light. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Everything happens for a reason. We did not have any kids or, you know, anything like that like bound us together forever. So it was kind of an easy process once we both decided, like, yeah, this isn't working. And it was actually my decision to leave, but I think that he was, like, on board once we were actually getting a divorce at the courthouse. I don't know, that's his, like, I can't speak for him. But yeah, the one thing that came out of this marriage was my beautiful baby, Grumpy. I have a Chow Chow. She is gonna be 5 in December. I'll insert a picture of her here. Isn't she cute? I know. So that was our dog. I kept custody of her, if you will, and she's been with me ever since. We also had a fish. His name was Sebastian, and I don't know if the fish is still alive. I mean, it's been 5 years. I hope it is, because I love animals. I don't want it to die. But yeah, so that's the best thing that came out of it. I think I was just young, if anything, so I couldn't tell you. But anyway, January came around, so at this point, I'm already 19, because we celebrated my 19th birthday together, and then so by come January, I'm already 19, and we just, you know, we couldn't do it. I mean, I don't know, it was culture differences. It was, I wouldn't really say there was a language barrier, because he did have an accent. However, that, like, we could communicate fine. I just think that in terms of, like, a marriage and what a marriage should look like, and what a family we want, or if, like, we even wanted a family, and, like, when, and, like, I don't know, there was just a lot of things that didn't align. And I mean, granted, I only, like, knew him for 3 months, so I guess, you know, you don't really get to know a person all that well in 3 months. So there was definitely a lot of questions, and I definitely think a lot to do with it too. I mean, I was 18, like, I was very immature. And even though I thought I was super mature and that I was the one that was right, like, I don't know, looking back, I mean, I was definitely, it was very impulsive, and I probably would have done things differently. You know, I'd only ever been in, like, 1 or 2 serious relationships prior to that, so I don't know, I didn't have, like, all the experience in the world and, like, all that. But, you know, life happens. A lot of people definitely had negative images of me, like, oh, like, she's pregnant, or like, oh, she wasted her life, like, she's not gonna finish school. And, you know, I'm very proud of myself, because I took off, like, in the whole move, and, like, people still to this day, like, when I run into people from the past, like, you know, friends, parents of friends, like, I don't know, family, like, I don't know, anyone, they're like, oh, like, didn't you get married? And I'm not gonna lie, like, I've always been really embarrassed about it, and I've always been like, oh no, like, that wasn't me, but it was. And, like, I just felt ashamed of it, I guess. Like, it wasn't my proudest moment, but I've just decided, like, you know, it is my story. It is, like, I can't change the past, like, it happened, so might as well just embrace it. But no, yeah, like, I still finished school. I got my bachelor's in 4 years time. I was not late. I mean, I didn't finish early, but I didn't finish late. I actually took a whole year off from moving from San Antonio, where we'd been living, back home. So I took a whole year off, and then my first year with all that change, like, you know, I was skipping class a lot, like, and then, you know, sometimes, like, he would need to borrow the car, so I couldn't make it to school. Like, there was just a lot that was happening during that time. So I basically failed, like, 3 out of 5 of my classes the first semester of college, so I had a really rocky start there as in terms of my GPA. But yeah, I took a whole year off, and then I flunked 3 out of 5 classes my first semester, so I had to redo that. And then I even transferred schools and my credits didn't transfer over equally, so I had to make up some. So yeah, the fact that I still finished in 4 years, definitely I'm proud of it. And I'm currently in school again. I'm actually working on my master's, so I'll be done with that in a year. So I would just like to say to all the people that said that I was like, you know, ruining my life and I wasn't gonna go anywhere. Just kidding. I don't know, I'm still very much on track. So that's actually that's probably gonna be my next video, talking about like life updates, you know, where I'm at now in school, because that's a video within itself. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, what else? I just think culturally, you know, his culture is very different than the American culture. Women are very different, and yeah, for one reason or another, it just didn't work out. Do I regret it? No. I mean, yeah, sure, my life could have, you know, ended up a little bit differently, or I could have still been with the guy I was in high school, or like, I don't know, like, I can't sit here and say like what if, because my life has happened the way it has, and I'm pretty grateful for it. And you know, I have a lot to be thankful for, so you know, no regret or bad blood or hate or anything like that. So I mean, I really don't have much more to add. I guess if y'all have questions, like nothing's really off the table, but if y'all have questions, drop them down below in the comments, or follow me right here on Instagram. Shoot me a DM. I'd love to do a Q&A if, you know, y'all, if I left anything out. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on the bell if you want to be notified of my future videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.